Hey guys, it's Tom Shue, and today we're going to look at the curves tool again. You know, I said this before and I'll say it again. The curves tool is the most powerful set of controls in any imaging software. Video, motion graphics, it just gives you full control over color and exposure. Okay, so today, instead of showing you how to do bleach bypass, I'm going to give you some more information about the curve tool itself, and then I'm going to show you how to make a sepia tone or sepia tone inside of Lightroom using curves. So, you know, what's so important about this curves, you say, is, well, all of these companies that offer you these presets, they use these tone curves to generate these colors and different presets for you, right? I mean, they combine it with other things, but the underlying thing that they have gives them all the control is how they manipulate the curves. And if you manipulate the curves, you can come up with your own unique set of adjustments that gives you your look or your style. Like when you like muted colors or something like that, this is the way you get there. Okay, so again, let's look at a couple things on the curves. Obviously, we have this color wheel. I'm going to post this on the blog. You can right click and save it and use it as your reference. Okay, it's important to understand what's happening with color, so let's set this to the side here. Okay, so let's go into the develop module. We're going to grab the D key. We'll click develop, and we're going to go into the RGB. So we're going to give a quick overview of what's happening with this curves tool. You can see that here's my histogram, okay? And if you look here, it's my histogram as well. So this is a squished version of the histogram. All the shadows live on this side of the histogram, middle values in the middle. If you break it up into these blocks going across, and the highlight information's over here. So if we put some points in here on this curve, now if you divide this box from corner to corner, this would be like an additive adjustment, and this would be a subtractive adjustment. Since we have the red, green, and blue channels combined, because you can go red, green, or blue independently, okay? When all of them are combined, we're just dealing with luminance values, brightness levels, okay? So I'm going to add in a few extra points here today, because what we're doing is we're pinning the curve. If we don't have these adjustments and we pull up one of these pins, it's going to create like a S curve, because this is designed to help you with your roll off, and it automatically helps you do that. So if we look at this image, black being here and white being here, and that's the same as here and here, and that's the same as black being over here, middle value being in this area, and white being over here. If I wanted to darken just this area of the image, okay, I'd come over here to where I think my curves adjustment is, and I put a point, okay, and if I want to make just that area dark, bang, I can make that area dark. Let me bring that back to the center, and maybe if I was a little bit off, I can slide this point up and drag just down the area that I wanted, which is right here. I can make that darker or lighter. So I can, since this image is broke out into a linear curve where the highlights are on the right hand side and the shadows are on the left hand side, we get that band. However, if I did that same adjustment on my image, okay, I would be affecting the highlights that are over the whole image. So if I'm doing that with the shadows, you see that I can increase the shadows or decrease the shadows in a specific area of the frame. And if it's off, say if I want to move that over here a little bit, that's real simple. I can just bring this point over, pin behind it a couple times, and then just grab that adjustment and move it to the right. And if I need to further go to the right, that's not a problem. I can just slide over, make another pin, and I can keep moving my band and put it wherever I want. So I can get some serious control over where and when I affect exposure and color, because this works in color as well. Even if there's no color on the image, it kind of will give you your overlay. So if we look at our color wheel, we're on the red channel, so we'll be making cyan, red or cyan. So let's pin this out here, and I want to make a cyan adjustment in the image over here. Okay, so that's going to be pretty easy. We'll pin this out. So I want cyan there. Bang, there's cyan. Okay, and you can see that I've got some red going there, because you see it's kind of making a curve over top of that pin, well, what we could do is we could come in and add a couple more points right next to that curve so it can't pin, and then now it's going to give me more blue right where I want it. Okay, so now that you understand how you can control this stuff, let's do this to an image. So let's find a picture here. Okay, here's one. So we're going to do our sepia, but before we do that, I want to show you one other set of controls. So we're going to go to RGB. Right here's a point. If you say you want to make this image warmer or cooler, we could do that. Or you can adjust exposure in a specific area. So if I want this highlight area to be lowered, you can see, watch this point when I hover over here. See, it's adding a point in the area which I'm hovering as far as luminance is concerned. I click down and pull, and it will let me adjust that, okay? That specific area, and it affects everything underneath. So let's back out of that. Let's make this linear again. So if I grab this and hover, maybe this area here, I will click and make a point, and I'll come over here and I'll pin the rest of the curve so it doesn't move, and I don't just slam and darken the whole image. And maybe I come over here. I can just control that area where that orange was. Maybe if I wanted to make it brighter or something like that. Okay, let's make this linear. So we're going to convert this to black and white, okay? And to do so, you can get a shortcut by hitting a V key, the V key. So to sepia tone something, what color is sepia? Well, it's kind of like a brown color. So how do you get brown? Well, you need to mix magenta and yellow to get a brown. So here's magenta and here's yellow. Well, there's no yellow or magenta slider here, right? Do you see yellow or magenta? No, you don't. So what are we going to have to do? To get yellow, we have to manipulate the blue curve, and to get magenta, we need to manipulate the green curve. So you got it. Let's go into the blue. And we know if we go up, we're going to be adding blue, but if we come down, we're going to be adding yellow. Okay? So there's the yellow tone. That's the first part of our sepia. Remember, we're going after brown. So we're going to go to the green slider, and you got it. If we add up, we're adding green, but if we come down, we're going to add magenta, and there's your brown or your sepia tone. Now you can get as rich as you want on this brown. We just need to go back into the blue curve because we've added a little bit more to green. It looks magenta actually. We added too much magenta. So we'll grab our blue and we'll pull down and actually add more yellow, and now we'll get a darker brown. Do you see how that works? Hopefully this helps you guys understand what's happening with the curves a little bit better. I want to thank you all for taking time to visit today, and until next time, we'll see you soon.